Hi, it's Ricky from Moshville Times here once again. So tonight we have sludge, hardcore and groove British stalwarts Raging Speedhorn. Now Speedhorn have been doing their thing since 1998 and I hope I didn't make you feel old there, Gordon. I do apologise. And you've released 6 full-length albums in this time. So how are we finding yourself tonight? Has everything been okay through COVID and things and you're delighted that things are able to start up again?
Yeah, definitely. It's just nice to be able to start playing shows again more than anything.
Yeah.
Just missed it, just really missed playing, to be honest with you. So we're just lucky that we had loads of stuff booked in, so it's just been rescheduled back.
Yeah.
Some of it to now. So been quite busy, so it's been quite good.
It seems like it seems like a copy and paste. It's like copy 2020, paste 2021, you know. But before I start going on with my questions, I saw you played Bloodstock. So how the hell was that?
Yeah, that was the first. I think that was the first proper show, really. Back.
That's a warm-up gig.
Yeah, yeah. And like literally, I was on holiday, so I had to drive back from holiday to do the show and then drive back to go on holiday. So it was a bit of we didn't even practice for it. We just went up and just did it. So yeah, it was amazing, to be honest with you. Just unreal, really. We're just so excited to play.
Yeah.
And thank God it went really well. And it was banging. Couldn't go any better, really.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Even with I think one of the things that Bloodstock highlighted this year, because they couldn't get the foreign bands in, is how strong the UK scene is. I mean, there's probably a number of bands that you hadn't seen before, that maybe took you by surprise as well. But certainly for the punters, it took a lot of people by surprise. And bands were playing to like full tents and whatnot. So yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. I think they've got. Hopefully, that'll sort of make people look a bit more to the UK in a whole.
Yeah,
you know, it's like you don't have to bring in all these American bands all the time. You know, we've got a good scene here ourselves. You know.
Yeah.
I think I think sometimes UK bands get overlooked, and it's always been the same since we started. You know, I think American bands get big straight away because they're from America. And we forget about bands coming from the UK, I think.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think we get nowhere near as much coverage as a UK artist than you do if you're an American artist. Myself.
Yeah. Fair comment. I mean, I've been at a couple of gigs in the last couple of weeks, and if they were played a couple of years ago, sometimes Glasgow crowd could be a wee bit fickle, you know, but both times they were rammed, absolutely rammed. So it's good to, like, for example, last week scored a Tura and Fetal Juice as well. They were a good bunch of lads. Pissed as well. But yes, Bloodstock's definitely done a good thing for the UK scene. So hopefully everybody will now go to the pubs and the clubs, as like you say. But let's talk about all things Raging Speedhorn then. So in October of last year, you released your 6th album, Hard to Kill. Now, obviously, you couldn't have picked a worse time to release an album. But looking back on it now, how do you feel about that album? And is there anything that you would have liked to have changed?
I mean, like, it was really weird at that point because we were thinking, oh, should we push it back? And we were like, no, let's just release it. Doesn't really matter. And to be honest with you, we released it bang at the right time because no one was doing anything. Everyone was sat at home, which meant that, and people had nothing to spend their money on. So they literally went out and we sold more record. That record is the second biggest streaming record we've ever done on Spotify. It's really close to hit, like it's close to taking over the first record now. Wow. So realistically, it's been the most successful record we've really had, like on streaming wise, and then like it charted in every chart. Yeah. So I mean, for a band which we didn't release it on a record label, we had a distribution label and we did everything ourselves. So for that, I think it was really good, and in that record, it's opened us up to a lot of. We've never been so sort of busy in a weird way and so active as a band, and people wanting to speak to us about it. Yeah, nowhere near is what. I thought it would be more like this when we first got back together, but it seems to be now that people want to speak up to us more and more and more. And the shows are getting better. It's more sellout shows. It seems that it's a new thing, realistically. So I wouldn't change anything, really. I think it's done really well for what it was. You know, you can't really. No, I wouldn't change nothing, really.
Excellent. I mean, see, while I was doing my research into yourselves, I've noticed like there's been a hell of a lot of vinyl sold out. I noticed earlier on today that your new long sleeve shirt is sold out. So there's still a lot of raging fans out there.
Yeah, I mean, like, we do really well on merch. We do like silly amounts of, like, we sell a lot of merch on a day-to-day basis anyway. So that, I mean, we're just one of them bands, really, which is, I've become sort of like a merchandise band, you know, like we're on tour with Skin Dread and we're doing really, like, we just do really stupidly a lot for some strange reason, which is really good. I mean, we do, we sell so much merch, it's unreal, which is great, really, for a band who's been going for this long. And it's really weird as well. It seems to be a lot of younger people as well, which are starting to buy stuff. So and the thing is even though we've been going for so long, we're all not that old, you know. We were in that band when we were 15 years old. You know, so it just showed, like, you know, we're not even that old. So it's just, everyone thinks we're older and we're really not, you know. So it's quite strange to think that, but it's great. So
there's still plenty of life in the Speedhorn yet then.
Yeah, I mean, like, we've got a new record ready to go. Well, we're going in the studio next year straight away. We were supposed to go in October, but because we've just become really busy, like we're on that Skin Dread tour now, and then we've got some shows in November, a few in December. So we're just getting busier and busier. Next year's going to be better because we're out in Europe, I think, then. So we're just trying to shoehorn everything in now.
Just keep the ball rolling. But that's actually what I was going to ask, because you guys, you're not really slow songwriters. So with you not being able to tour for a year, I would imagine the guys in the band were kind of like getting itchy fingers and stuff like that and wanting to play their instruments. So it's delighted to hear that you've got a new album in the works then. What could you tell us about it? How would you say it compares to Hard to Kill?
It's just that kind of, well, I don't know. I mean, it's just different again, really. It's that kind of vibe. I mean, it's just a mixture of everything, really. I mean, it's hard to say what it sounds like because we haven't really written it down. We're that sort of band where we all have to be together to write a song. We don't fuck around sending each other twiddly bits because it just gets a lot. We're just not that kind of band, you know. We never will be that band, you know. We all need to be in a room. We all need to be there because all of us can play guitars and drums, so we all need to be there to be in the room to go, oh, well, I've got this bit, or I've got this bit, and then you know, we can have one little riff and that can turn into a whole song because it's that, you know, it's always Frank on the guitar with the other lot, so everyone's got a guitar and we're all just in the room together until it's right, you know. It's just, and we never really give a fuck about what we're gonna write. It's if we like it, we're not one of them bands going, oh well, our last record was like this. Oh, fuck that. Like, we do what we want to do because we want to. It's got to be good for us, and not for everybody else. I mean, you write music for yourself, really, and if you don't, and you're trying to hit a trend, then you're fucked. In my eyes, you just got to do what you want to do. And if it works, it works. If it don't, it don't. You know. And I think that's the reason why, when we first came out, that's why, you know, we did so well, because we didn't really care what everyone else was doing. We just did what we want to do. So I mean, it's like Queensy, some Queens of the Stone Age in there. It's still like heavy, but it's just different again. You know, it just is what. It's hard to say, really, until we've written until it's actually recorded down, because it always changes as well. Because we record with Russell. It always changes in the studio. There's, you know, never, if we can go in with solid songs, it's never the same until he's had his thing on it as well. So he's basically like a seventh member of this band. So, you know, we can go in and it'll be like, no, try this, try that. And it's never like a no, it's like, okay. And it'll, you know, it usually sounds amazing. So,
yeah. You took the words right out of my mouth there. I thought he was going to be the extra member of the band, but I take it then you're not a band where like the guitarist will send you a riff at 4 o'clock in the morning saying this is the best riff I've ever written.
No, I mean, we're not. I mean, we're not. None of us are like that. We never have been. You know, like especially like me and Frank, we're nothing like that. We just need to be in that room. And luckily, the guys who are in the band now, and who have ever been in the band is like that's why they're in the band, because they're exactly that kind of person who needs to be in this band. If we had a guy who was like, oh, I've got this whole song, we'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, wait, we've got a riff. I mean, like we sort of record riffs down on our phone and we'll send it and go, what do you think to that? And it's usually like a yeah, but then we'll forget about it until we're in the studio. And then and then we'll write 4 songs in a rehearsal of 8 hours. And then they'll just be recorded and then they'll just be put away, and we won't even listen to them again until we're in the studio.
Wow.
And then we'll go, right, and then we'll be like, right, what's this one? All right, and then we'll just go from there, and we'll just sort of put it all together from there. We never sit there and concentrate on one song forever. It's just, right, we've got that song, got that, and it's just in one rehearsal we can have four songs easily.
Yeah.
You know, that Hard to Kill was put together in 4 rehearsals, and that was it. The album was there, and we just went in and did it, and that was it. But that's what we've always been like. We've never sort of worried too much about it until we're in the studio, and then we'll figure it out as it when we go.
I've got it. I've now just got it for you guys. I mean, you guys go to rehearsal and you basically record an EP every time you go to rehearsal. So you guys could have released like 100 EPs by this time.
Well, we've got a lot of stuff, but it's just never like, you know, either forget about it. I mean, there's some stuff on my computer, and I said to Frank, "Oh, listen to this." And he's like, "Who's that?" I said, "That's us." And, you know, like, because we just, you know, usually we just pick and choose, or we're just so lazy. We go, oh, we've got 9 songs, that'll do, and then that's it. And then we'll probably get together a bit, but because we live so far away from each other as well, it's a bit harder. But I mean, this group, the band now, it's never been so active as everyone's writing stuff all the time. We're together a lot more. Just feels like it used to feel, you know. It's not a stress. Like, you know, it's like everyone's just really happy to be in the band, where some of the guys who left, it just wasn't like that anymore. It just, you know.
So how does that feel for you then, being one of the co-founders of the band? Is it just, I'm so much relaxed about things now? Yeah,
it just feels good. You know, it's like everyone can play their instruments really, really well, and we all just get on really, really well. There's no fight. I mean, like, all of us are quite sort of strong-minded people, but like we just say what we need to say, and it never really gets in an argument because we sort of forget about it straight away. If it's something like, oh, fuck off, and it's done, you know. And everybody who's in the band has been in bands before and done quite decent stuff, so they know what it's all about, you know. It just makes things a lot easier for me, and they just, you know, luckily they just leave me to do everything. And that's, you know, and I just tell them what's going on, and they're, you know, if they don't like it, they'll tell me,
and they'll just turn up.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather that, because there's 6 of us, and it's just a nightmare if all of us are trying to do stuff. So usually it's right, we're in the studio on this day, we're doing this on that date, and, you know, it's done. And it's usually me and the tour manager who just deal with everything else, which is, it just makes life a lot easier in that way.
The impression I'm getting as well about the new stuff is it's completely new. I don't think, from what you're telling me, like, there's nothing carried over from Hard to Kill that you're using again. You're starting completely fresh.
No, completely fresh. We always do. We never carry anything on, really. It's all new stuff, because like we just get bored. Like, I mean, especially with this record, not bored of it, but like it's a year old now.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, and the one thing we were looking forward to is just being able to like play it live.
Yes.
You know, because it had such a good response, and people are, oh, can't wait to hear it live and all this. And we're like, fuck, we just want to play. But like the song, honest to God, like the new songs are going down just as good as the old songs, which is like, that's all you want as a band, especially a band who's been going for 21 years. Like, fucking hell, that's the best thing, really, to me, is the new songs are going down just as good as the old. So it's, you know, and it's great when people come up to you and go, I've never heard of you guys before. You're like, fucking hell, where you been? We've been here forever. But that's cool as well, you know, that people don't know who we are. I love that, you know. That sheer shock on people's faces when they hear you. They're like, what the fuck? Because that's the good thing about Speedhorn, is no one sounds like us, in my eyes. Like, no one sounds like we do.
Yeah.
We're still quite a unique band, you know, because when we first came back, it was all sort of Pro Tools and all that sort of stuff. Well, we're just a balls out sort of band, really.
Yeah.
More like a rock and roll band, I would say, because we don't listen to hardcore or anything like that. We just listen to 70s rock. We don't listen to any new music at all, you know, which is really funny when people say, oh, what new band you into? I'm like, I fucking don't know. Like, I just listen to fucking AC/DC, Led Zeppelin. Like, you know about anything, you know, like, I mean, we're all into like sort of stuff when we were younger and that, and there's some bands I like now, but it's like we're all just into like old school rock. Yeah. Like Frank listens to funk. He doesn't listen to metal. Just doesn't listen to it at all, you know, which is cool, you know. But somehow it works like this. Yeah. Which is, I mean, the last thing you want to do is get in a van and listen to fucking metal after you've played it, you know, or been around it all day. That's fucking, you know, all we listen to in the van is like funk and 80s pop. That's it.
I think we've got a Moshville Times exclusive here, Raging Speedhorn or Duran fans and Aha fans.
We are. We are Duran fans. It's weird. Like I said to our guitarist the other day, what band do you think's like one of the best bands? And he was like, I love Take That. And I was like, fucking love that. You know, it's just like, and it's so funny. Yeah. Like, and then we're up there like an hour later, just going mad. But you know. Yeah.
Can I say one of the last gigs that I went to before COVID was Adamant, and he still got it. He still got it. You know, grew up with that Prince Charming.
I seen some footage the other day, and I was like, "Fucking hell, he's still got it. It's still good." Yeah. But then, I mean, we're like into Queen and stuff like that. We're not like really. Don't really listen to much new sort of bands, really, unless it's got to be something really good for me to go, fuck, that's amazing. Yeah. I don't really listen to like new bands, really. Yeah. You know. Cool. But it's just the way we are. You know? Yeah.
So over the last 18 months then, with everything that's happened and not being able to tour and all the rest of it, has it made you look at the band, look at the more business side of the band, like keeping the name of Raging Speedhorn out there, like the marketing, merch and things like that? Has it made you take on, as band members taking on roles that they've never done before? Have you delegated stuff out? You still do everything, don't you?
I mean, like Dan, our singer, he does a lot. Like me and him usually sit down and do a lot of stuff. He does a lot of videos and stuff, and I mean, it was just all about keeping videos coming out, you know, stuff like that, content. Yeah. We did four, I think we did like 4 videos. And luckily we did like a live stream show in London. Yeah. And stuff like that. I mean, it's just been, and our PR guy is just amazing. So he had us just doing like stuff constantly, which was good. I mean, someone was saying to me the other day, like your band hasn't really stopped through the whole COVID thing, and I think that's the one good thing is what people missed out on is they should have brought a record out, and they should have, because it keeps you in the press. Everyone who was doing press was sitting doing nothing. So the minute something came out, everyone was jumping on it, and that's what we did, you know. And we were lucky that, you know. And then James Acaster, who's like that, who's like quite a fake, like he was like he was mentioning us quite a lot on his shows, and he had Corey on from Slipknot, and they were talking about us and stuff like that, and that instantly sort of helps. Instantly, sort of like fuck, and then people are like it's like streaming wise, and yeah, all them sort of people have just been amazing because they've just somehow our name is just never really. It's always been about. So
can I say
it's all about marketing band.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah,
you know?
Just when you said about videos there, can I say like I love the video for Doom Machine, especially like references to it and Shining and stuff like that. That must have been like a fun video to do because quite a lot of your other videos are quite serious or a band one, whereas this was more of a
yeah. I mean, like that's Dan all over.
Yeah,
because we just said we want to do this. I mean, we've got some really good ideas for like new videos as well. But like he's really good for that kind of stuff, like visuals and stuff like that. He had this, he made all them things with a lighting and the whole like stuff. He did all of it. He made everything, you know. And then we had like a couple of guys filming it for us. Yeah, it was like 3-day video shoot. It was amazing.
Yeah,
and,
I think it was quite a low budget video. Am I right in saying that?
yeah. But that's what we wanted it to look like. We didn't want it to look too sort of good, you know. We wanted it to look like, I don't know if you know a band, but a band called Red Fang, how their videos are like really like quite sort of, because you know, people think we're a serious band, but we're not at all. We just think this is really funny, like the stuff we get to do.
Yeah.
Like that's what I was saying to someone the other day, like fucking hell, like we've been going since the band's been going since we were teenagers. And I'm 42 now, and it's like, you know, and I'm still getting to do the stuff I was doing when I was a teenager now.
Yeah.
Which is insane in my eyes, because I never thought we were just a bunch of idiots, like, and we still are. Like, we never take things too seriously. And I think that some bands do that and don't enjoy it when they've got it. So just enjoy it when you have got it, because you never know. Yeah. And that's the reason, like with the videos, is like that's what we're trying to go, sort of do that sort of cool, sort of just funny videos. What makes us laugh, you know? I love that video. I think it looks amazing. I think it's the best video we've ever done. I think it is.
You should certainly do more of them. You should certainly do more of them, you know, because like I say, the other ones are more serious, whereas this one just shows your true selves.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about having fun. No point being too serious.
Exactly. So with the recording of Hard to Kill, then will there be anything that you'll do differently for your next release, like who you're going to get to produce it for you? You kind of talked a wee bit about earlier that you're releasing it yourselves. Is this something that you're going to keep on doing because of the success of this one and no time pressures? You can release it when you want.
I don't really know yet. I mean, there's talks of us looking at a proper label, really, just for distribution wise. I think more than anything, just to get it out in Europe and stuff a bit more, and just because it, you know, people don't really realize it's just all this sort of stuff you need in place to be able to go and tour in these other places. You know, going and people are like, come to America, come to the. I mean, it's like, yeah, but you know. We need a proper release out there to be able to go to America. Yeah. It's not as easy as just getting on a plane and going. So it's all about that, really. So we're sort of looking. I mean, we're just looking into it all really now. It's still starting to gear up to all of that now, but we're just trying to get this year out the way, really. Yeah. And then we're going to sort of sit down and talk to people about it. But yeah, I mean, I mean, we're going to go in the studio with Russ again. I don't think we'll ever record with anyone else now, really. When you find somebody who's sort of on your level, it's hard to find the producer who's on the level that you're on. And he's on our level and more, you know, he's fucking crazy. And that's the sort of people we need to have around us, you know, like, so yeah, we're going to go in with him. I think, I can't remember, June, I think it might be. So we've got a few months to sort the record out properly. Yeah, and I think it's going to be, I don't know, I think it's going to be probably a little bit different, in a way, like, because we've just done we did a David Bowie cover, which is coming out soon. which sounds ace. So, and there's no shouting on it. There's pianos. It's insane how different it sounds. You wouldn't even think it sounds like us. So we're all just like, well, why don't we put some different instruments on it? And it's like, just, I mean, it's still going to be really heavy because we won't want to go away from that because that's us. But, you can't just do the same thing every time. You've got to try little.
You might just have alienated half your fan base there saying they're releasing a David Bowie cover. What? Is this new direction?
Sounds amazing, to be fair. Well, we just got a message from this guy who's this label who's doing it's 50 years of Ziggy Stardust next year. And he wanted us to do a song. So we just did it. We're like, yeah, okay. It sounds ace. It sounds really good. We'll never play it live because it's downright, but what we laid out, and we didn't even listen to the song. We just went in and recorded it, and it all sort of came out. So it sounds amazing. Sounds really good. So yeah, it just sounds really, really good. So that's coming out, I think, next year. So yeah.
It just sounds as if you're a band who'll just play any song, play any gig, and just have fun. And that's what it's all about.
It's all. I mean, like we luckily, like we had an amazing manager when we first started, and he was like, "Just got to grab everything you can."
Yeah.
Like we did that tampon advert a few years ago, which we ended up on in the cinema, like before movies. And it's stuff like we just don't care. It's like, right, yeah, okay, we'll do that. Yeah, we'll do that because it gets your name out. It just helps you. Like God, like the bands we've played with, when you go, oh yeah, we played with Graham Coxon from Blur, we've done this, and everyone's like, what? Like, yeah, played with everyone. Like, we don't care. We'll play with anyone and everyone because it's, that's what it's all about, isn't it? Like, even though you're a heavy band, don't mean we're lucky because. In a weird way, it's like not many bands I don't even know what genre we're in, but bands like us, they never get them opportunities to do it.
Yeah.
And we're one of them bands that seems to get them opportunities. So just take it when you can.
Exactly.
You've got to. So if you don't, someone else will take it.
You just took the words right out of my mouth. But I was going to take the mickey, like, just don't do a Take That cover. But then again, that might actually be a good.
It went, honest to God, like this. Yeah. On the last record, we were going on about, should we do a cover and stuff? Because we only had like 8 songs. And why did we only do 8 songs? I think it was just because we just wanted to release something with all the new members who are in the band now. Like, well, before John left, we're like, we just want to get this record out. And then, yeah, we just, what about this T-Rex cover? And I sent everybody, and they were like, "Yep, let's do that." And it sounds amazing. So yeah, I mean, then Dan came in halfway through the recording process, and it just sounds. I mean, he just brought it to life. Really, he helped a lot. But yeah, I don't see the point of saying no to stuff. You just got to say yeah to it.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, like anyone could come up with it, say, "Come and play with us." We played to this amount of people. We'd be like, "Yeah, let's go. We'll do it today. Let's go."
Yeah, quite right. There's plenty of bands out there that would say no to doing a tampon advert, but you're not one of them.
That's the reason. Like, we always get told, like, you're sellouts and all that stuff. And like, don't give a fuck. Don't care what you say. Don't really give a shit.
Cool.
If you worry about what everybody else is going to tell you, you wouldn't go out your house, would you? So it's just like,
yeah, quite right. But you mentioned the songs are pretty much constructed in the studio then when you get together as a band. But with everybody having like different influences then, how do you negotiate what stays in and what goes out of a song? Do you have a vote? Is there 1 or 2 people who say, right, this is going in and it's staying in? Or how does the negotiation work?
I think it's more the look you get, like, sometimes like you'll come up with a riff and it'll be like, no one will say nothing, or it'll be like, that's fucking shit. And like, yeah, all right, and that's it. It's gone. There's no, no going about it. And it's like with when we started writing this record, it sort of started to write stuff. I'm more the fucker of it. I'm like, that's nowhere near as good as the last record.
Yeah,
we need to keep on that sort of. We're on a good thing now. Let's not fuck it up. So it's all about that, but it's, you know, it just, you sort of just, you can just tell if things ain't going to work or if it's not going to work. And all of us are quite like, no,
Yeah.
we don't sort of mince around. It's like, nah, shit. And it's like, okay. And it's gone, or we'll leave it on the back burner. And usually something will happen. We'll go, oh, what about that riff we had? And it will sort of come back in somehow, you know, and it, you know, with Andy, because he's Andy for the bass player, he's from a band called The 100 Reasons. So we were like, oh, how's he gonna, like, and he fitted in really well. And to be fair, he's the one writing the heaviest riffs. You know, he comes in, like, what about this? And we're like, fucking hell, like, you know, there's one song on our record, and he just came up with this riff at the end, and I was like, fuck, that's the heaviest riff we've ever had. And it just, you know, I don't know, it just sort of works. We just know if it's going to work, if it's not going to work. And usually it comes, you know, we'll get halfway through a song and we'll go to stop because we ain't got another riff, but then someone will just start playing a riff, like, that's the one, and we'll just go into it. There's no, it's just, it's all about on the hoof with us, really. If anything, is that works, let's not fuck with that, that's it, and that's it. You know, we don't really, it's just the vibe of the room more than anything. With us. There's not one guy who says it's got a fucking bit played like Axe. If it did, he'd be like, you're fucking gone, see you later. It's about us all being in together. You know, it's a pact with us, you know, it's all got to work.
Well, to be honest, I'm quite disappointed in your answer, to be honest with you, because I was expecting like blood in the walls and fisticuffs in the street and stuff like that, but it doesn't seem to be like that. It seems to be a tight
yeah, it's never really been like that, to be fair. I mean, back in the day it was more Gareth, our old guitarist, was like the main. You'd be like, it needs, not even like that, he'd just be like, I want it to be like this. But like, that's what I was saying, like now it's such a good tight unit that there's not really any, I mean, like you still have arguments and stuff, but you always will. Like me and Frank, we argue quite a bit, but like it's because we're best friends. Like I've known him since I was I can't remember not ever having him around, because we've grown up since we were like babies, you know, so we're just like brothers, really. But like we sort of, even if we do argue, it's like, fuck off, and it's like, that's it, you know. It's not like we never really argue and fight. We used to when we were younger, in the back, but like now it's just, I think when you get to a certain age, you know, and like you're still doing this, you're like, fucking hell, especially because Frank was really ill. He had like cancer a few years ago and was really ill. You just think to yourself, fuck, let's, like, what's the point in arguing all the time? Let's just, you know, fuck it, look, we're doing this record, we're doing these festivals, you know, we're on tour now, we're playing packed shows. It's like, what's the point? What's the moan about in life? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Get on with it.
And
have the best time ever. Party time, is it, you know?
Well said. Full of respect for that, but also with like, can I just say, when I see bands live, I love it when there's more than one vocalist. I think one of the best gigs that I saw was Nile, when they had like three vocals, three vocalists, and it's just absolutely astounding. But seeing you guys with two vocalists, it just has so much diversity to a song for me. But with the two guys that are being vocals, then do they take care of all the lyrics, or the lyrics, do they come from all the band, or is it mainly?
No, like we usually like, well, before, when John was in the band, it was all Frank, really. Frank used to write the majority of the lyrics, and John would just sing what Frank told, not Frank told him what to do, but it was like, he got in the studio and like, right, you write, you sing this, you sing that, and then but now with Dan, it's completely different again. Like they're both, not saying John was lazy, but Dan really wants to contribute to the song as well. So they sort of, they do it together, which is really, you can sort of tell on the last record where, you know, do you want to be in the band? Yeah, right. You've got a week to write your lyrics because we're back into record in the next. Because like we were on because with John it didn't work out and he sort of left. And we were like, right, we've got this time schedule. We need to stick to it. You've got like these dates, but like, you know, Frank was going up to where Dan lives, and they were in like in rehearsals, like with the songs, going through them all together. That never ever happened with John, never. So you could instantly tell that it was, when Dan went in, it was just cooking, you know.
Yeah.
It was like it was just really good, you know. Just you just wanted to be there, basically. We all wanted to be there, and it felt just, you know, and they just the way the vocals are together on this record is probably the best again since the first record. Really, you can just tell we're all hungry to do it again, that's what you want, you know. No point doing it half-assed. So yeah, them two just write together now, which is good. But usually the vocals never come till like that's the last thing on our mind, really. We usually get the song sounding good, and then like Frank will text me at 4 a.m. I've got this album title or something like that, you know. That's sort of when that all starts happening. But yeah, them two usually, I mean, what have we got to say? I mean, if we're in the studio and they got a bit, we'll say something stupid, and then that will end up on the record or something stupid like that. But it's not, them two usually write everything together, which is good.
Cool.
Yeah.
It must take a hell of a lot of pressure off the other musicians as well, because doing lyrics, it's an art form in itself. You know, it's not easy to do. So it must take a lot of pressure off you guys. But talking about your songs then, so where do you record? Where do you rehearse? Where do you get together?
We rehearse now in Stoke-on-Trent, which is, it's not too, I mean, because 4 of the guys live there. I live in Wales, so it's like, you know, it's just the easiest way to do, and that I think we've got like our own lockup up there now and stuff like that. So that's sort of like the band's sort of based, because it just makes things a lot easier for everybody. Just, I mean, it's like a 2.5-hour drive from my house, so it's not like I don't really care, you know. It is what it is. And it's about an hour and a bit for Frank, so it's not massive. It's not a massive journey, you know. It is what it. So what we usually do is go up there, and we'll rehearse like a 3-day sort of stint.
Wow.
And then we'll come back, and then we'll make sure everything's, usually I say 3 days, half the time it's in the pub getting pissed, but you know, but it's like we go in there and we you know, it's just because you just know as well, like when we're there and we're all sitting there and nothing's coming out, or you just know it's like, oh, fuck this, let's just go out or go and do something else.
That's just disgusting behaviour.
Well, it works for, well, it's usually me and Frank, out of everyone, are usually pissed by the time we get to practice, but there we go. But it's just the way, it's just how it just works better for us that way, where we just go in 2 or 3 days at a time, and then just batter stuff out, and it's it just makes more sense to do it that way than
So do you end up taking the guitars into the pub with you and just end up playing an acoustic set or something like that in the pub?
It usually ends up, well, I mean, the other lot are quite sensible human beings. Me and Frank are the worst. Well, and Jim, us 3 are the worst. The other 3 usually go home when me and Frank, let's go to the pub. But so it just works better that way. I mean, why would they come down to Wales? It's fucking too far for everyone to come. So just like we just go up there and we get hotels for a couple of days and we just get on with it. Cool.
It seems to work. So there'll of course be live shows in the near future then. So we're going to talk about a major festival that you're going to be playing in a couple of weeks' time. But what other gigs do you have in store for the rest of the year?
At the minute, we're playing Rock City on Saturday. We're playing Glasgow on Sunday.
You are.
Then we're with Skin Dread. Then we're playing Southampton the weekend after, and then we're playing Badgerfest. And then we've got another. What other one have we got? And then we're playing Newcastle with Skin Dread. And then we've got a couple. I can't remember what we've got next month. We've got a few shows next month. I think we're playing Carlisle Bricks Shed, is it, or something like that?
I think so.
And then we've got another festival the day after, Scarborough, I think. And then we've got our own London show at the end of the year.
You seem to
Stafford show, and then someone else somewhere else. So yeah, we've been we were supposed to play with. Oh no, we've got Damnation as well on the 5th, which we're playing our first record. The only time we're going to play it.
You're playing with Akakoka and Orange Goblin, yeah?
Yeah, should be really good, that one. So, and then into next year then we've got a few stuff booked up, I think some festivals for next year already. So yeah, and then 2023 we've got festivals booked already for Europe.
Wow.
So yeah.
Who does your tour planning? Because you're in Newcastle one day and then you're in Scarborough the next and stuff like that.
Yeah, let's just be basically what happened was for the Skin Dredge tour, their main support had pulled out. Right. So we got a message from Seven, Skin Dredge's manager, going, right, we want you to do these dates on this tour. And we just sort of had to wangle what we can and can't. Oh, we're doing Manchester as well with Skin Dredge. So we just had to wangle for what were the best ones for us to do, really. If it was me, I'd have been, let's just do the whole fucking thing. But it doesn't work like that, you know. It never worked. Like, you know, people go, why don't you play Edinburgh? It's like, it's not fucking as easy as that, you know. I've had people, you know, oh, why don't you play in Cardiff? It's like, I can't just say to Skin Dredge, I want to play Cardiff, and they go, yeah, fuck it, come on, boys, come down. You know, there's a lot of work goes behind the scenes to get. Yeah, I know. I mean, like the Newcastle one's a bit of a fucking pain in the ass, but again, like you're playing with Skin Dredge, and it's all about, you know, they're all my friends, so it's all about, you know, doing it, helping them out, and then down the line, it all, you know, things happen again. Yeah, and it's all about that, really, because if you you know, again, with some bands they say no to stuff like that, where you can't say no, you just got to make it work. You know? Somehow we just have to make things work. I mean, it's been some people, some members in the band sometimes say, no, we can't do it. And I'm like, well, we're doing it anyway. So fucking, you know, it's never a no in my, like, no is never ever an option for me. It's, we'll sort it out, you know. I mean, Frank's driving from Devon because he's on holiday up to Manchester to do one show. You know, it's just it's just ingrained in, like, again, go back to our old manager. It's just ingrained into us. Like, you never say no to anything. You do it, and it's just, we just have to figure out how we do it, and that's just the way it is. You know. Yeah,
I take it though, you just forget all the logistical problems when you're on that stage for the hour and you're just seeing people go mental. Yeah. That's the reason why you do it. And so the 3-hour drive or whatever, like, that is sacrifice. You know.
Yeah, I mean, like, luckily we're in a good position where, you know, we have a tour manager and we have a driver and so we don't, like, you know, it's, you know, I mean, like me and our tour manager will sit there like we were the other day, getting all the hotels booked and stuff. And you're like, fuck, that's a lot of money because it's all on weekends, you know, in major cities. And you're like, fuck, but like, it is what it is. You just got to just not worry about stuff like that. And, you know, luckily we've got an awesome driver. Does our merch. She's like, fucking, he wanted to drive from Nottingham to Glasgow. I was like, fuck that. Like, after the gig, like, we're in Nottingham on a Saturday night. Like, that's we're never gonna leave till probably 4 a.m. So you ain't fucking driving all that way. Yeah. But I was like, fuck that. But yeah, luckily we've got a good crew around us that, you know, bust their balls to make things happen. So that's the main thing. I mean, again, with our crew and stuff, is like, you got to get the right people in place. Yeah, who understand what we're all about. I mean, luckily they're all a bit crazy as well, so they all fit in really well. So yeah, you just need that. Yeah.
So one of the reasons for contacting yourselves is, like, you're headlining Badgerfest on the Sunday night. How did that come about then? Like, did John approach you and see you at a show and say, come on and play? Did he just phone you up, or how did you actually get on the bill?
I think our agent, I mean, like, there was, I can't remember how it sort of happened, but there was, because it was this, you know, Sophie Fest as well, they do in Manchester. It was Badgerfest, and I don't know what happened, but them two were sort of trying to get us to play. God, that sound feels so long ago. It's like 2 years ago now. Yeah. And then, like, all our stuff goes through our agent. So our agent just messaged us and said, do you want to play this festival? it go sort of that kind of stuff, what happens with us. And then it's all about, it's all about the money and all that sort of stuff. And it goes all through that. And then we're like, yeah, we'll do it. It's like, that's how it works with us.
Yeah.
We don't really get people calling us to play shows, and if they do, I'm like, oh fuck's sake, who's this guy? Go for our, because like that's a like that's why we've got an agent. That's usually if it's, I'll ask the questions of what is it kind of vibe if people get in contact with me, and then you can sort of tell if it's going to be a waste of time, or if it's something you want to do, because that's the last thing you want to do as a band, is travel fucking miles away, and it's like you're playing to like 4 people in Tommy McPlot's house down the road. Like go straight to our agent, and our agent knows straight away if the guy's a tool, or that's why he's there.
Well, we know John Badger. He's a legend in Manchester. He started Badgerfest in 2017, I think, and it's just got bigger and bigger and bigger every year. So he's certainly making a name for himself, and he's I
mean, like, we know, obviously, that we know them because our tour manager lives in Bolton, so we know all of them a lot anyway. But and our tour manager owns a bar called the Alma Inn as well, which is like legendary, like has loads of bands playing there. So we know all them lot anyway. But yeah, I've spoke to John quite a few times on the phone and stuff. Seems like a really nice guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to playing it. I've never played it before. So
are you just going to be there the Sunday? Or are you going to be there the weekend?
Well, literally, our guitarist is in an awesome 80s metal covers band. So we're playing Southampton on the Friday, and then Saturday we've got a day off. So we're going down to, because like that band, it's insane. Like they play like 500 cap venues and sell them out instantly.
Wow.
They're insane. I've never seen them. But it's just, they played like this big outdoor festival the other day, and like headlined it. Like it's just a big weird sort of like. So we're all going to that on the Saturday, and then we're gonna go down on the Sunday to that. So yeah. Oh, and we're all getting tattooed and stuff on Saturday, so we've all got to be. So, but yeah. So
well,
yeah.
Well,
so we're not going to be able to get down there really. It's quite sad, really, but.
Yeah.
On our day off, we just.
Because I was going to ask if there was actually anybody that you're looking forward to seeing. The
only band on that bill, which I'm really bad with that. The thing, I don't really listen to that kind of music, which is it sounds mad, but like all I listen to is like, again, rock, in Britpop.
Yeah,
stuff like that. That's like, it's weird, but like so I don't really know many bands on the bill, to be honest with you. The only band I sort of know is Borders, really.
Yeah,
it's the only band. I think they're playing our day, actually.
You might be right.
Yeah, I think they are. But I mean, I'll go down there and have a listen. Hopefully we get there early, so
there's a good Scottish contingent coming down as well. Like God Eater and Iron Altar and Rami Jink. Rami Jink seems to be one of the most. I usually ask bands like who they want to see, and Rami Jink from Edinburgh.
Really?
Very, very popular, and also King Witch from Edinburgh. They play like the Sabbathy type stuff, so you would have liked them probably. But
it's just because we've got like a day off.
Yeah,
it's just a day off for us, like it's just,
last thing I want to
be doing. It's horrible to say, but the last thing I want to be doing is sitting in a venue listening to music like that. I just want to just chill out before we go and play.
Yeah.
Or listen to 80s metal like I'm going to be doing that night. So that's nice. But so it's a shame we ain't going to get there. Yeah. Usually if we have got a few days off, we will go down for the weekend. I mean, like, we're going to try and do that at Damnation, because there's a few of our mates' bands playing that day. If you ever been to that festival, that's a fucking banging festival, that is. We're looking
to cover it next year. We cover it with Moshville Times every year, but we're looking to cover it myself next year. But yeah, I mean, we're going to be down at Badgerfest. We also do Moshville Radio. We started this like 3 months ago. So Doom Machine has been getting a wee bit of airplay. We've been doing quite a lot of Badgerfest specials. So Doom Machine's getting a lot of airplay. So yeah, we're doing interviews. We've got being Scottish, I didn't have any part of the negotiations, as our stall is in the bar. So so if you're wanting an interview, try and come down in the afternoon, because
I think our merch is in the bar as well on Sunday. I got told by John that it's in the bar the other day, so we'll be mingling around there probably all day.
Yeah, you see us all there. There's at least 3 of us going to be there. So this probably won't be the last time we'll have a wee chat, but I can guarantee you it won't last as long as this.
Probably will. We probably will.
Well, as long as you get the drinks in, drinks
will be there. Drinks will be flowing.
We're coming towards the end. I've just got a couple of wee quick questions then. Before the internet, then magazines and fanzines were the places to find out about new bands and trends, but now publications have been replaced with thousands of websites catering for all genres. So do you think that some of the passion's been lost, or do you think that the internet's been a good thing for music and a good thing for Raging Speedhorn, for example?
I think what it has lost is the mystery of bands. Like when I was younger, I sound like an old man now, but like when I was younger, you never really you can go on Facebook and you can see what Corey Taylor or all the rock, Bring Me the Horizon and all that, like them kind of bands now. You can see what they're having for dinner and stuff like that. Where when I was younger, all you seen was them getting pissed and and it was a bit of mysteriousness about them all. Where like now, I think you've lost that completely. And I think probably we were my generation of bands were probably the last band to have that mysterious kind of thing. Because like when we were younger, the internet really weren't around when we first came out. So it was like, we had people following us down the street at my mum's house and stuff like that, because people just didn't know what we were like, and they wanted to know.
Yeah.
Where I think that's lost that. And I think with bands now, I think it's, in a weird way, I think it's easier for bands to do well because it's easier to get their stuff out. They can get on Spotify. You can have 400,000 listeners, and without even being in Krang magazine now, or there ain't such a thing as Krang magazine anymore. But yeah, I think it has lost its. I think bands have sort of lost it in that way, but in other ways have gained. It's easier to be able to do really good stuff. I mean, God, if magazines are around now, I mean, like we get coverage in magazines, but nowhere near as much as we used to.
Yeah.
Where I think now it's easier to get, because there's so many fanzines out there, and people actually give a fuck about what about your band. Where some of these knobheads who do these bigger, they don't give a fuck about you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I've done interviews before and I've went in and they went, don't even know who you are. And I've just got up and went, oh, there's no fucking point in doing it then. And walked off, because it's like, the fuck, what am I doing here then? Like, where at least with the fanzines, they give a fuck to a point. Yeah. And I've always been down that route of fanzines and stuff. Because when I was I come from that whole sort of punk rock DIY scene.
Yeah.
If do it yourself or no one's going to do it for you. And I think that's the reason why we're doing all right now, is because it's like, well, fuck it. Well, I'm just going to do it then. And it's, and then when it does well and people come up and, or the people didn't want anything to do, and that's when you can tell them all to fuck off.
Yeah.
Which I think's even cooler. But, like people like you and stuff, like it's nice to speak to people like that than I'd rather speak to someone like you who's, instead of talking to a guy who works for a big magazine who thinks he's a bigger rock star than I am, what's the fucking point in that then? Because it does happen. I've seen it, or you see like these people. I just can't be. We're not really like that schmoozy kind of band anyway. Never have been. And when you see people, can I have a photo? You're like, you just want it to put it on your. I can't be fucked with that. But that's just the way we are. So, but yeah, what I'm trying to say is, I think it's better now with like all these fanzines and stuff like that. Because I mean, Krang, it cracks me up now when I see bands going, I'm on the front of Krang. I'm like, you're on a fucking website, mate. You know, like at the end of the day, it's not a fucking magazine. You know, like I was saying this to a band the other day. I was like, when we were on the front of Krang magazine, it was selling 100,000 copies a week. You know, like, and we were in that magazine for 5 years solid. Like, being on the front of a fucking website don't mean diddly shit to me, really. But that's just me, you know.
Yeah.
But
it's like you say though, like thanks for referring to me as an old man, because I am older than you, so thanks for that.
well,
But also, like, you'd see crap, as I called it then, and you'd see ads for like a band, and it would just tell you for fans of whatever, Paradise Lost or whatever like that. You'd send £1 or £2 away, and a couple of days later you would get a demo tape through the door, but you would get a letter from the band, you get a couple of stickers, and you would play it. And then you were like, don't know if I like it, but because you've invested in it, you would listen to it again, and give the band a chance. Whereas now, like you say, Spotify, you press play on a tune, 10 seconds, oh, this is shit, instantly dismiss the band and move on to the next one. I mean, I grew up in the age when CDs should be burned. It was all tapes and vinyl, you know, so it was pleasing to see on your Facebook page you sold out your vinyl, you know. Absolutely crazy. It's made so much of a comeback, you know. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like, I have got a load of CDs, but it's all like, I've, you know, always been into vinyl, you know, like since I was, you know, when I first started getting into music, really. And it's like Gareth, our old guitarist, is still one of my best friends. Like, he was the one who sort of, you know, get into this, fuck all that bullshit over there. This is what you need to be in. And it's like, and that's, I mean, like, we all laugh, I laugh and joke saying, I listen to fucking, but like, you know, with Gareth, you know, that's one good thing. Well, one good thing, a lot of things about that man, but like, he was like, just listen to everything. Like, you don't have to just listen to, but then he was very purist in, like, he loves like punk rock and stuff like that, which we all love as well. So it's like, we don't, like, joking aside, like, we all do like listen to, like, but the bands we like are all sort of DIY sort of, well, bands I like all sort of DIY punk bands and that kind of stuff. So I don't really know what's going on that side. It's sort of this side or pop. You know, so it's like, I just think you just got, I think magazines are like dying now, really, aren't they? I mean, I can't see how they're gonna, I mean, look at Metal Hammer, like, that's one like magazine I still sort of respect a lot, but like, God, I don't know how they've come back from that, and I don't know how they're doing now as a magazine.
Yeah.
Because now you can just, as I said before, you can just, you know, I remember when I was a kid, I'd run out and buy Krang magazine on a Wednesday, where you don't have to now because it's all online straight away, isn't it? So it sort of takes the specialness away from it all.
Yeah, definitely.
You know,
definitely
does. It's the same with vinyls and stuff as well. Like, you know, you get a vinyl, you've got the physical thing in your hand. Where a lot of people now they just click on download and it's on their computer. Where that does I like, it's like a trophy to me when you buy something like that. I like
the one you've got behind you.
Yeah, like that one, like, you know, it's like all my vinyls are here. Like, I love buying a vinyl. I love getting it, you know, but that's probably because I'm old, you know, and I like doing that kind of stuff, you know, but it's strange, isn't it? I find it so weird how things have changed, and it changes so fast, you know, like, I honestly
adapt or die. You just have to adapt.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, like, I think that's seriously one of the reasons why we sort of called it a day the first time round, because we just found it hard to change that quickly. You know, like, it just went from us being on a major label to not being able to not having a label, and it was just like, what the fuck could we doing? Like, and then you had, like, back then, like, you had Gallows coming out and stuff like that, and I was just, you know, I remember just saying to Gareth, I think we should just stop, because all these new bands are coming out, and even though we were like 27, which is fucking insane, we're just a bit, I think we're behind the times here. We just need to stop, you know. And plus, I think from being like 17 touring constantly till you're 27, 28, I just needed a break from it anyway.
So did your liver?
I just think it was my mental well-being was just off the, because I was in a band called Viking Skull and Speedhorn, and I was just never at home. I was just touring all the time. I literally was never at home, and drinking a lot and stuff like that. I just didn't know where I was. Like, I'd be like, where the fuck are we today?
Yeah.
I'm in Japan somewhere, and I'm flying home to play a show in England, and then going to America and then go, just like, what the fuck?
You would do it all again, though, wouldn't you?
I think I would, but I think I'd enjoy it more and appreciate it more, because I don't think none of us there's a point when you start doing stuff at a certain level where you forget, you just start moaning about that level. You know what I mean? You forget sort of not where you come from, but like, people are, oh, you're playing these festivals. So like, to me, it just felt like we were playing the Dog and Duck, and we were playing in front of these thousands of people, because you just get so used to doing that.
Yeah.
And then like now, like when we play with Skin Dread and stuff like that, and you'd be like, fuck, we used to headline these shows. But in a weird way, I find it even cooler now, because we just appreciate it so much more than we did back then. And having the new members in, and it's so funny with Dan, he's like, fucking hell, like, we're playing this, and I'm just there like, yeah. But then you think, he's never done that before.
Yeah.
Where you've got to just appreciate what you're doing and not take it for granted. And I always say that to bands who are tour managing stuff, like when they're fucking moaning about an in-ear not working, I'm like, just look where you're playing and just remember where you are, because one day you ain't going to be doing this, And it's happened to a few bands, and now they're working in a fucking coffee shop.
Yeah. When
a few years ago they were supporting bands playing Brixton Academy to 5,000 people. You're like, should have, hopefully they remember that, because you got to, haven't you, really? I mean, like, that's what I say to people all the time, like, fuck, we're playing this, we're playing Badgerfest, man, we're doing this, that's amazing. People go, oh yeah, it is quite, and I'm like, you got to just remember, and it's sold out, and this is sold out, and that's fucking ace. People forget that, I think. Yeah. That's an old man rant now, but it's true though, I think, to a point.
Well, listen, I think it's a beautiful way to end the interview, because I couldn't agree with you more. But can I say it's been an absolute pleasure.
Lovely to meet you.
Yeah. Like I say, it won't be the last time. I'll certainly be looking for you on Sunday. You'll know where to find us. So more than happy to have a pint, as long as you're buying, because I'm Scottish, remember. I won't be bringing my wallet.
You know what? I was just going to say, it's so nice to hear a Scottish accent. all my family are Scottish, and I don't get to see it much, so it's lovely. Obviously,
you'll hear plenty more of it on Sunday, no doubt.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, right. So thanks a lot, Gordon, and
take care,
Cheers.